Happy Friday to you. I am Jen Yates. You're on Jyneration Nation, LRS102.com, The Walrus. And I'm super pumped because I got an old friend and a badass drummer. I'm already dropping money in the tip jar. Stephen O'Reilly is in the house. How are you doing, man?
I'm fantastic, my friend. How are you?
I am good, and I'm so pumped. I've been featuring drummers on my show since I have had it. And
I've noticed.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm going to get every awesome drummer in this city in here.
What the hell did you call me for?
Because you're one of my faves, man.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
We worked side by side for a long time at Mom's Music, teaching
We did.
kids and adults and everything else.
We did.
You taught me a lot of cool stuff.
Oh,
Actually,
thanks.
the kick practice that you teach, I stole from you.
Oh, yeah.
I always give you credit for it. I'm like, I stole that from a guy named Stephen O'Reilly. But it works. It's such a great practice. The one where you go from quarters to eighths to triplets.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that is a practice I still do today.
Nice. I still do it, actually, believe it or not, too.
Do you really?
Yeah. Your body is a thing that will forget shit.
Yeah,
Don't
no
worry,
kidding.
kids. I put money in the jar.
Just so everybody knows at home, if you're just now tuning in, you don't know anything about LRS, which has been around since 1964, broadcasting live from Louisville, rock and roll, straight up. We have a cuss jar, a change jar here.
Yep.
And basically, anytime we swear, we put money in it, and then we donate it off at the end of the month to charity. So we cuss for a good cause.
We
here.
do, and I put money in it as soon as I walked in the room.
If you notice, there's quite a bit of money in there right now.
There is.
And every time I come back, the nighttime guys must have a heyday because every time I come back in the next morning, it's got a lot more money in it. So Hippie Head and some of those late nighter Black Frank and all them, they must be like cussing up a storm.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was going to try to do it today, but I just can't.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I know my mom's listening, so I always try to
Hi, Mom.
I always try to just be good. But, I like to drop a cuss word every now and
All
then.
right, I won't say the F word.
Yeah. Farfignugan.
Yes, that one. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, Stephen, I want to start out because I want people to know all about your career, what brought you to Louisville, because I know you're not from here, but you have an awesome background in drumming and music. And let's start with, how did you get your start when you were like a kid? When did you actually start drumming?
That's actually an interesting question because I started with guitar.
Okay,
And
interesting.
it lasted about 6 days. I
Okay.
hated it.
Why did you hate it?
The left hand never made sense to me. I shouldn't say left hand, the left fingers.
Oh, the left fingers?
The fretboard.
Yeah.
I went and bought I'll never forget this. I have a picture of it somewhere. A BC Rich canary yellow Warlock.
Oh, do you still have it, or you got rid of it?
No. I got rid of that thing quick.
Ooh, so that's like the Warlock. I know exactly what guitar that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just think Slayer.
Yeah,
All
Slayer,
those,
right?
all those,
yeah.
all those thrash metal
Which
bands.
we're going to play some thrash metal today, and we're going to play some of your stuff that you've done over the years, because you've done a lot of really cool stuff.
Oh, thank you. I
And
have. I've
some
been pretty
heavier
fortunate.
stuff. You're a
Yeah.
really heavy drummer, which I love. You can also play a lot of different styles, but I really appreciate you for your like hard rock stuff.
Yeah, that's my background. So when I figured out the guitar was not for me, I graduated, or gravitated, I should say, towards drums. And I just immediately, I'm kind of a product of the 80s, I should say, and I hate to even call
Same.
it hair metal, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It was hair metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I started there, and I just fell in love with Tommy Lee, and I went, I'm going to do that. That can be done. I need to do that. And that's
Yeah.
how I figured it out. And that's how I started playing drums.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
I think that's why my background is such a heavy drummer, because I played nothing but metal for years. Rock and metal forever.
You can tell because your double kicks are off the charts. Like, I love to just sit in a studio and watch you play double kicks because it blows my mind.
Oh, thanks.
Because I didn't start studying double kicks until much later, and I was
Right.
playing like country and like southern rock growing up, and I was doing like jazz and marching band and stuff like that, but never like super heavy.
Right.
So my super heaviest point was when I moved to Louisville, and it was the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
Chick angst rock and roll was in, and some of
Angry
the
women.
It was a lot of those, but those are the best ones musically. What kills me is like when Alanis Morissette is like cussing everybody out and telling everybody off in her records, we loved her. But when she like has kids and gets all love, 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 then we're like, eh.
We don't like you anymore.
Right. Sarah McLachlan did the same thing. Her earlier stuff was real dark and heavy, and then now, she had kids and got happy, and then started writing
Here's
love
one
stuff.
for you. Tori Amos did the same thing.
I love Tori Amos.
I do too.
Yeah, and I've seen her a few times, but I'm not for sure if it was Tori Amos because she plays. You know how she is. She plays like multiple different characters. or she might slightly be different personalities when you see her.
Be a little bipolar.
Slightly. She might hum the piano, or she's just crazy. I think that's kind of where Gaga kind of gets a little bit of her stuff too, because I think Gaga gets a little crazy behind the keys, and Tori kind of did that first.
Yeah, she did. You and I talked about this for years. I think it's kind of cool to bring it up on the show because you just said it.
Sure.
I did everything backwards from you. I started on my feet because I was playing heavy stuff.
Right.
I didn't care about my hands. I didn't understand jazz and funk and rock and all, or like Latin kind of stuff. I didn't understand any of that. I was just like, double kick, yes. Let's do this.
Yes.
So then when I had to learn everything backwards, because then I had to, oh, crap. See, I didn't cuss, kids. Oh, crap. My Farfignugan hands are terrible.
Yeah.
I had great feet, but my hands were awful.
That's,
so I did
so
everything
hard
backwards.
for me to believe. Yeah. How weird. We've come from two different backgrounds and twisted it.
Yep.
And then when I met you, you were showing me like double kick things. And not only that, but you are like a pro at the stick flips and all that. The showmanship stuff. I think you are, because I've seen your DVR or DVD.
You got a
Did I say
DVR too?
DVR?
You said DVR.
DVD. What is a DVR? I don't even know. Is that like
It's
rewritable?
a digital video recorder.
Oh, a DVR. That's right. Yeah. Well, sometimes I call it sometimers. My brain don't work, quite like it used to in my 20s. It's all them partying days at them clubs that I need to, I quit doing a while back.
my pop tells me it's called a CRS.
Which is?
Can't remember shit.
Oh, I love that. Oh, bound chicka bound. Where is my bell? I got a bell here anytime you... There it is. Anytime you say a cuss word, what? In fact, I forgot I was going to bring in percussion today so we could shake a little something.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, you ended up coming to Louisville. How?
I did. I did a lot of stuff in the South. I spent my teenage years in North and South Carolina, and then somewhere, I don't remember the exact year. My timeline memory sucks. My memory's really not that bad. I pick on myself, but my memory's not that bad. But dates, I'm horrible at dates.
Me too.
So somewhere in the late 90s, early 2000s, I wound up in Atlanta. I moved down there for a band, and the band I moved down there with had a crap ton of money behind them. And I thought it was going to be the be-all, end-all. This was my shot. I lost my first 2 shots because I turned down Crossfade.
You did?
I was an idiot. I didn't know.
Why did you turn down Crossfade? I'm just curious.
At the time, they were a band called Sugar Daddy Superstar, and it was in Columbia, South Carolina. And everybody was looking at Columbia because Hootie just exploded out of there.
Right.
So their band at the time, Sugar Daddy Superstar, and my band at the time called S-Tribe, we did a crap ton of shows together.
Yeah.
We played all the time. So they got signed by Columbia from Matt Pinfield. Remember that dude?
Yeah. Yeah.
He was their A&R guy. So long story short, the singer came to me and said, hey, we just got signed. We're going to go on tour. We'll probably be on Ozfest. Our drummer can't do it. We want you. And I went, well, we're being looked at by Sony.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
Sony didn't take us. They're on the radio. I was screwed.
Yeah.
So...
you gotta hate that.
Yeah, it is what it is. It was what it was. But fast forward, when I went up to Atlanta, it's kind of the same deal. We had swapped out some shows with this band out of Atlanta called Exit Left, and they had a lot of money behind them. And when I say a lot of money, I'm going, is this mafia money? Am I going to get shot? Because that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, they brought me down there, and they paid for my rent for 6 months. They got me a phone. They paid my power bill for 6 months. They gave me a lot of money, paid all my moving expenses.
I would have done that, too.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. And then 9 to 10 months after I was down there, I won't say any names, so I don't get anybody in trouble. One of the band members and the financial person disappeared.
Okay. So maybe it was mafia money.
No, they're alive.
Okay.
But they disappeared.
Okay.
You can put 2 and 2 together and come up with what you want.
Okay, sure.
So I was left without a band.
Okay.
And I didn't know what I was going to do. And that's when I went to Atlanta Institute of Music. I said, screw it. I've done touring. I've done all this crap. I've moved my life 17 times for different bands. I'm going to go to school. Yeah. So that's what I did, and I auditioned.
Which, by the way, that is a pretty famous school that you ended up going to. And I love that you actually was like, I'm going to keep educating myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big on education.
Right. Well, and I think because I've been in Louisville for so long, people forget that they think that I was just this music school kid. I didn't go to music school till I was 29 years old.
Wow.
Late.
Yeah.
I mean, I had already done the touring and all that stuff, but it helped me obviously become a better drummer. And somewhere through the school, I don't remember exactly how it happened, But somewhere through the school, I ended up being a judge for a Battle of the Band, national Battle of the Bands
Oh, cool.
contest. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. I would love to be a judge on one of those shows.
it was pretty cool, and I hated it. But I ended up writing the reviews for all the shows. I said, "Hey, I don't want to be a judge. Can I be the review writer?"
The critic.
Yeah, it was way better
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
And I met a band from Louisville called Heaven Hill.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
So a lot of people
That's
in
when I
Louisville
met
are.
you.
Yes, yes.
Which, by the way, I've always been curious how they have not been sued. Do they have some kind of thing worked out with Heaven Hill Distilleries? Because that is literally the name of the liquor company.
To my knowledge, they did.
Okay.
At the time, to my knowledge, they did.
Yeah, I
They
was
had
always
something-
curious about
yeah.
that because, you know, when you're looking at band names and stuff like that, you definitely don't want to take. Well,
No.
by the way, there's another band around town that has a name that is something else famous that I'm always like, how do they not get in trouble for that? But
Who knows?
you know,
It
it's like
depends
I
what they
can't
did.
name my band Howard Stern and be like, my band's Howard. You know, I guess you could, but you might be sued
could.
by him if you don't like your band or something, you know?
I don't know.
So I don't know how that works copyright-wise, but
I don't either.
trademark logo-wise or whatever, but
I don't either.
all I know is I own Hillbilly Swagger rights. That's what I know. I own that name.
I own the O'Reilly name.
Good.
It's on my birth certificate.
Exactly. Ba-bump cha.
So anyway, I met them, and they blew me away when they came down there. And I ended up selling their drummer my DVD, the one that you were just talking about.
Right.
And a couple months later, I got a phone call from the guitar player and said, "Hey, you want to come to Louisville and play drums for us?" And I went, "Kentucky? No." Not interested.
What did you think about Kentucky at the time? Like, what was your perception of it?
I didn't have one. I was just in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm in a massive city. Why do I want to move to
Right.
Kentucky?
And a huge music mecca, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm not interested. But throw a sprinkle of personal because it's relevant to the story.
Mm-hmm.
My ex-wife and I were at each other's throats. And I thought, you know what? Maybe a move way away from here might do good.
Yeah.
So
Been there, man.
yeah. So that was half of what prompted me. The other half was I believed in the band. Heaven Hill had a lot of good stuff because you've been doing this as long as I have. You get sold a bill of goods too many times, and you're just like,
Yeah, I know. And
you're
I mean,
lying. Yeah, you don't have all that crap going on, and they actually did.
yeah. Yeah, and that's always nice when a band actually has their stuff together and they've got endorsements and, you know, a lot of money backing them.
Yeah.
And they can tour and they have vehicles, you know what I mean? And players who actually will show up and not be toasted all the time and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up coming up here. I'm trying to shorten the story. I haven't told this story in a while. It's kind of cool.
That's fine. We got 2 hours, man.
You right. So this one time I stopped at a gas station on my way to Kentucky. No, I'm just kidding.
So you ended up in Louisville, though.
I did. What happened was I came up here for a meeting to meet him and hang out with him. We had talked on the phone. Oh my God, we had thousands of hours on the phone. And I finally came up here. I looked at Louisville. I looked around the city, and I went, well, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And we ended up jamming. We just said, well, let's just see how this is going to feel. And I said, all right, fine. So we went and did that. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, I came up and I brought my drums up here. I learned the whole record. They had I think there was 6 or 7 songs on their EP at the time. So I learned the whole record, and I came up here and we just blazed through it. And it was mostly musicians will get this. Some other people will, but it's generally for the musicians. You know when you sit down and you play with people and there's that instant magic,
That chemistry, yes, that's
chemistry.
what I'm always looking for. And if I don't have it, I move right along.
That's what we had.
I do the same in my relationships, friendships, and dating wise. I will not settle unless it's magic because I've already had the magic, and I want it to be just as magical. You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
That's
I
a good
get it.
philosophy. Yeah, and we had it immediately. It was one of those things
Good
where
chemistry.
we're just we're all looking around the room going, is this really possible? And 6 weeks later, 5 weeks later, my first show with them was here at Phoenix Hill for New Year's Eve.
Wow.
2007.
Rip Phoenix Hill, man.
That was my first show, and it was sold out.
Wow. Which part of
saloon.
Phoenix Hill? The saloon.
saloon.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
The cool part.
It was
yeah.
sold. Yeah, and I remember, never forget this. I actually wrote about this in my book. That's not published yet. I'm working on it.
Awesome.
I remember walking in there and going, this is not a venue. This is a small city.
Right.
That thing was huge. I had never been in a venue that
yeah.
big, with the exception of the Masquerade. But
Phoenix Hill, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, you could get lost there. I spent, sorry, Mom, if you're listening, but I spent a few nights in pickup trucks in the back out, in the back parking lot of that because I was not about to drive. You know, I had a few nights in my 20s like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Phoenix Hill which I always called Thrill. I'll let you figure out what the P stood for. I don't want to put that much. Yeah. Wait. Yep.
There you go.
But anyway, we always had a joke. It was kind of a meat market for anybody who was gay or lesbian. You know what I mean? It was you
Girl,
walk
it
in
was
there
a
and
meat
you're
market for
swarmed.
anybody with a pulse.
Well, I agree. Good point. You got good point.
Because after obviously my ex-wife and I are not together, and we weren't. That didn't last long when she got up here with me. So it was a meat market for anybody with a pulse.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was the place to go back in the day. It used to be Jim Porter's for the older cats, and then it was Phoenix Hill for the younger ones. But man, I did hate it when it went under because, you know, that was a great place and it had multiple venues for bands to play in. We lost a lot of venues when those two places went down.
We did. But that's the short version of how I wound up here. I think a month after that was we did the In the Clear CD release party. We opened up for them in February of 2007, and that was packed out. And that was a headliner, or sold out, I should say, at Headliners. And I went, yeah, these dudes got some garbage going on. And I've been here since.
Yeah. Isn't that wild? How many years now has it been?
12 years.
12. I've been here 21. So I moved
You've been here that long.
99 is when I moved. But I moved for a completely different reason, obviously.
Right.
I moved here for media and was pursuing bands on the side.
Yeah, because you're smart.
Well, that's subjective, I guess.
Girl, I have no backup plan. You're smart.
Well, I did go back to college in my 30s and got an IT degree just as a backup plan in case the music thing didn't work out. Because I knew that my body, as I'm into my 40s now, my body is not like it used to be in my 20s.
Right.
And I'm not as young as I used to be. And my plan... I feel like my playing got better as I got older because I feel like as you know, the muscle memory sets in even more as the grooves are easier when you're older. That's why I always listen to these older cats if they played a lot longer than me and they've done a lot of stuff because, you know, I mean, it's hard to beat some of those older cats, you know. But also you've got to remember their bodies are going downhill, man. Mm-hmm. So I was worried about that.
Right. And I think you also get to, at least drummers, I cannot speak for guitar players and bass players, I feel like the older we get, every, 2 or 3 years, 3 other guys, every 2 or 3 years, we redo our setup.
Yeah.
For the physical reasons.
Yeah.
I'm about to get there now because the other day I was rehearsing something and I went, this is not comfortable. And I've sat the same way for 15 years.
Yeah.
Because I said hi.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, in fact, you taught me to set high too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and bring my snare up a lot higher.
Yep. It's easier on your back.
It is easier on your back. And I'm short and I tend to hunch over sometimes. So
I'm short too. I have the same problem.
Pay attention to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now the problem I'm having is I feel like I'm coming down too far.
Mm-hmm.
So now my shoulders, much like yours, which we were talking about before we were recording.
Yeah.
Now I'm feeling like I'm having to throw my shoulder out because I'm feel like I'm too far away now.
Right.
So, but I don't want to go down.
Right.
Any lower,
because
I feel now it's going to hurt my back. So
yeah, we were talking earlier about drummer injuries because I got injured and I have some nerve damage going on into my fingers. And I was telling Steven that sometimes when I hit my snare, the vibration of the snare through the stick, through the hand, feels like I'm being shocked.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And I was telling you, Jim, what's up, girl? that I have trigger finger in my right hand, and sometimes I'll just randomly drop a coffee cup.
Yeah. Sucks. Do you ever randomly drop a drumstick though?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you do?
Oh, all the time.
Okay.
But that's because I'm being stupid.
I hear you. I was thinking though, if you have trigger finger, your fingers lock up, so you're like, in a
once
fist
once in a while I'll do it. It'll just fall out of my hand.
Yeah.
Every once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Knock on something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and sometimes the only time I usually drop sticks is when I'm playing someone else's kit and I'm not comfortable.
Oh.
I rarely drop a drumstick if I'm playing my own set.
I hate playing other people's drums.
I really do too.
I hate it.
Yeah, and I think most drummers do. We prefer to play, sometimes even if they have a backline drum set, I'll be like, can I still bring mine just because? Not that I want to haul it and or pay somebody to haul it or whatever.
Right.
It's just the fact of me being comfortable. I like to play my own stuff and I like the way that my setup sounds.
Absolutely. Not only that, public service announcement to anybody that puts together shows. Yes, drummers need to play their own rigs. It's not an arrogance thing. It's a physically comfortable thing.
Yeah.
FYI.
Yeah, and Jeff McAllister was in here, the drummer of the Monarchs, who toured with like Hank Jr. and Skinner, and he was talking, he was saying the same thing. If you're not comfortable from the setup, you're not going to play good.
No, you won't. You
Yeah.
won't play well at all.
Yeah, and we're not just talking about, sitting on a chair that's comfortable. We're talking about
No.
the whole setup has to be comfortable for you. Your reach, distance for cymbals. And it always killed me, people like Stuart Copeland. I know he's got long arms, but he sets his cymbals like 20 foot away from his kid.
Right.
How the heck does he do that?
I have no idea.
Because to me, my arms get really tired if I'm going up. You know what I mean? But the wrists really don't. And if you're using the arms all the time, waving
Right.
your arms around, your arms are going to get tired.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I like my stuff just boom, boom, boom right there.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and every drummer's different with their setup. That's
What
what makes it cool, though.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. Drums is, in my opinion, drums is the most personal instrument from the ground up.
Yeah.
Yes, guitars and basses are personal because you set the action and you set all that kind of stuff and you set the height of the strap. But once you do that, you're pretty much done, other
Yeah.
than the tones that come out of it.
Yeah.
But literally, from the ground up, drums are the most personal instrument.
Yeah. And
'Cause
there's a
it's a
million different
body-
ways
yeah,
to
it's a
set
body
up a
type
kick
thing.
drum, even,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a body type thing.
It
and
is.
and it's a way you sit thing.
I agree. Yeah. Do you still just go and jam and play by yourself?
Not as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you know this. I don't teach anymore.
Well, I did know that. I
Okay.
kind of saw that you didn't teach anymore because I was
Yeah.
sad about that because you're a great teacher.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and you've got some great students out there. I've seen some of their stuff coming across the LRS lineups and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate, and I'm proud of my kids. But yeah, I don't have that opportunity because I used to take if a student wouldn't show up. You do this too.
Yeah.
You and I used to talk about
Yeah.
this all the time. We used to do it together.
Yeah,
sometimes.
because you had a room where your drum set, you had two drum sets set up back to back, which is
Yeah.
how me and my father started, kind of. Yeah.
Yep.
And so I would just come up there when you were didn't have a student or one of my students didn't show, and we just jam out. Yeah. That's cool.
I just don't have that opportunity anymore.
Yeah.
And I've got my hands in so many fires because I'm a glutton for punishment.
And we're going to talk about that today because you do have a lot of stuff going on
I do.
musically.
It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, but you
I
got to
don't-
love it when that happens.
I
and
do.
And you have to take the opportunities.
Yeah. It's feast or famine in this business. You
Yes,
know
it
that.
is. You got to hustle.
Yeah, you do. But the long answer is, make a long story longer. I don't have that opportunity to just sit and jam. Whenever I'm behind my drums, I'm either by myself. That is, I'm either learning something, or I'm trying to work out a part that I screwed up at the last show, or whatever it is. And then the rest of the time, I'm with one of my projects that I'm in.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the track that you brought in because we're going to take a short break, but we're going to spin some of your stuff. So you've been in all these awesome bands, and this one's quite special.
This one
right?
is special
Because of Kevin McCreary.
Yes.
Yeah. And by the way, I just wanted to tell you.
For
I put the She Castle event, which we want to remind everybody, LRS will be broadcasting live at the She Castle event on
Nice.
Sunday. It's at Air Devils Inn from 3 until 9. I'm in the backing band. That's what she said is the name of the band. And we've got yeah, exactly. And we got 14 lead singers from all around town, different styles of music.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's a very cool event for charity. Well, I helped put that together with Elaine Hartwick in honor of Beverly McClellan, who I just lost, who was kind of like my musical soul partner. You know?
Right.
So I was talking to Kimmett. Obviously, she had just lost Doug. She's in our lineup. A lady, Marjorie Marshall, was in here. She had just lost, Marianne Fisher, who's a great friend of hers and her soulmate, who, by the way, toured with Ray Charles. I mean,
Nice.
everybody on the lineup seems to have someone that they lost that was a musical partner
Right.
in some form. So this guy was similar to that with you. He was one of your musical bandmates who you were really close to, and we both taught beside of him.
Yeah.
And he was genius, man.
Kevin was a genius. And I don't think anybody in Louisville that has a negative thing to say about Kevin McCreary can jump off a bridge.
Yeah, I agree.
I was trying to be nice.
Yeah, well, jump off a bridge because I mean
Yeah,
he was one of the coolest players, coolest dudes ever
Absolutely.
around. And what my memories of him is literally he taught me about so many bands that I never heard of.
Oh yeah.
His
musical-
Rolodex of music
I was going to
was
say musical knowledge.
insanity.
Yeah, it was stupid how much crap that dude
I
had
mean,
in his head.
underground stuff that people had never
Yeah.
heard of, and he'd be like, "Oh, y'all just band," and he'll educate you, like this
Oh,
band
yeah.
was from Minnesota, and blah 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 blah
Oh,
blah,
yeah.
and he'll give you a history, and then he'll be like, "And this is how it went," blah blah blah, and I was just like, I mean, nonstop. There was nothing you could get him on lead guitar wise that he couldn't play.
No, he was one of the best guitar players that I've ever worked with, and I've been very lucky and fortunate. I've worked with some amazing players, but
Yeah.
Kevin was the bomb. And the other thing about Kevin is he never met a stranger.
Right.
Super nice guy. And that's kind of how we met him. Very short story before you spin this track.
Sure.
When I was teaching at Mom's, I didn't. The windows in our doors, you could walk right by our room, and the way my room was set up, you know
Right,
this, but
yeah.
for the listeners, the way my room was set up, you could actually see everything perfectly clearly, and I had a
Yeah.
big whiteboard on the
Right.
wall, and I
We
used to
love
write.
our whiteboard.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. I love a
I still
whiteboard.
have my whiteboard
I do too.
in my rehearsal room where
I
my
love
band
that.
rehearses now. Yeah.
Perfect.
And I was writing something. I was writing actual notes out, and he walks in and he goes, "You know how to read music?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I heard you playing double kick. We'll talk later." And he slams my door and goes to his room, and I went, "Who the hell was that guy?"
It sounds about right.
That was Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just how he did. He was upstairs, so I was downstairs.
Yep.
Yeah, so I didn't get to see him as much just in crossing, but I'd come upstairs and hang out with y'all. Yeah, and I
And-
love to just sit with him and talk.
Kevin and I would talk for hours and hours and hours, and we became really, really good friends. And I don't know, I've talked about it on, am I allowed to talk about my podcast here?
Of course, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. You can promote anything you want.
Well, I don't necessarily want to promote it, barstarpodcast.com.
Barstarpodcast.com.
Yes, but
Check it out.
I did talk about it on the show once. A lot of people don't know, Kevin is kind of responsible for Stacy and I being together.
Really?
Yeah,
Which I love Stacy, by the way. Didn't y'all get married?
We did.
Congrats,
Cheers.
Mount Chicka Bout.
Yeah,
Wow,
after
she's
9
a good one.
I know. After 9 years, we finally got married.
Yeah.
I finally guess she wore me down. I gave in. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, he introduced us. So Kevin is always, ever since I've been up here, he's always been a part of my life somehow.
Yeah.
So fast forward to what you're about to play.
Sure.
This was a project that he wrote all the songs. It's called Avant Garde Dog. And most people that know Kevin know that it was his passion project. Everything on here he wrote. And in 2015, maybe 16, I think it was 15, or it might have been 16. Again, timeline memory sucks.
Yeah.
He finally got it finished. And what it is it's 14 songs. All the stuff that he wrote. Greg Upchurch from Three Doors Down played drums on 6 or 7 tracks. I played
That's right.
drums.
I forgot about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I played
Okay.
drums on 7 or 8 of the tracks, and he played drums on the very last track. Chip Adams is on bass. Kevin McCreary is all guitars and all vocals, and I think Chip does a little backup vocal. I can't remember.
Yeah, all great players, though.
yeah, great
all
players.
great players around town. I want to get Chip in here, too, at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Ingolstead played on guitar on 1 track, but it took Kevin a long time to finish it because right when he started it and we started to record it and or actually started to play as a band, he got hired by Uncle Cracker, so he was on the road.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he toured with
Yep.
Uncle Cracker.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
So
had
then-
toured with a lot of people,
He
didn't
did. He toured with Tantric, Uncle Cracker, a bunch of people
Yeah.
that I can't remember because my memory sucks.
Yeah.
But while he was on the road, he would go down to Nashville and he would work on the record. He would go back on the road, go to Nashville and work on the record. So he calls me and he goes, "You're going to record XYZ songs. Meet me in Nashville on this date. See you. Bye."
That's kind of how he rolled.
That was. And I
He'll
went,
just give you an order
okay.
and then bye.
Yep. All
Yeah.
right. I love you. Bye.
Yeah.
And then so that's this record is the thing. So
All right. Well, let's hear this. We're gonna spin the Optimist first.
Yep. The Optimist.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit about the story behind the Optimist.
I don't remember what he told me as far as how he wrote it, but I do remember that he told me to channel some. How did he put it? He said channel prog metal with a laxative.
By the way, I just got cold chills. You know what that means for me?
What?
There's a spirit in the room.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
see? I got cold chills. My hair stood up.
Mhm.
I feel like he might be here.
He is.
Yeah.
He's always here. You know,
Yeah.
I got the 444 on my leg, right?
Yeah, the 444. That's
Yeah.
right. That's his special
Fur.
number. Yeah.
Yep.
I actually put out a drum solo in his honor the day that
Nice.
he passed with the hashtag 444.
Very cool.
Yeah, just in his honor.
Now, speaking of drum solos, you're going to play the other track too, right?
Right, yeah.
Drama.
Yeah, tell me about this because I know you hate a drum solo.
I hate drum
Which cracks
solos.
me up when a drummer says they hate a
Oh
drum
God,
solo.
I hate them. Not only
Is
do
it
I
just
hate
because
'em-
people ask you to play them all the time?
No,
or-
like I don't even like listening to them.
Okay.
I just don't find the musical.
Yeah.
I just wankery annoys me.
I know. Wankery. I love that.
It does, and I
Wankery.
know that sounds crappy coming from somebody who's such a showboaty drummer. I get it, but
Yeah, no, I
It's-
love. I mean, to each his own.
now if you're gonna go 4, 8, 16 bars while the band's trucking, and you're gonna take a left on the interstate
Yeah.
and do a solo, I'm in.
Yeah.
All day long because
Yeah.
that's a musical thing.
Yeah.
If the band clears out and the drummer's on stage wanking for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
I lose interest.
Yeah, I hear you.
So Kevin knew this about me. So at the end of Drama, he wanted me to play a solo, and I told him no. And he says, if you're going to play on my record, you're going to play a solo.
Right.
So long story short, he's in the control room while I'm trying to do this solo that's at the end of the song.
Yeah.
And he's screaming at me. the entire time. Is that the best you got? You suck. You couldn't beat your way out of a wet paper bag. Oh, I can't believe you drove down here for. And he's berating me. And every time he does it, I'm getting madder
and playing better and
playing
better and better.
and
Right.
better.
That's what people don't realize.
Oh,
that
yeah,
when
yeah.
drummers, because I would channel my
Oh,
anger through the drum set too. It's the
I would
best
too.
therapy in
Yep,
the world.
absolutely.
We love to beat the shit out of things.
We do.
I'll put
Ding,
money in
ding,
the
ding.
ding ding. Oh wait, hang on. Ding ding ding. We do though. I mean,
Absolutely.
as far as drums, that's what we do. We hit things. So.
We hit with sticks.
We hit with sticks. That's right. So the more angry you get, and the more anger you can channel,
Oh, yeah.
the crazier things that can come out of your body.
And Kevin knew this.
Yeah.
So I think it was the 7th or 8th take. Now nothing's pieced together. It was I would have to play the entire song all the way through.
Right. So it's one take all the way through.
So about the 7th or 8th time, I don't remember which one it was. I came out and I was mad as hell. And he comes around the corner and he hugged me and goes, "I love you. I knew you had it in you." Then he does that Kevin laugh that I can't do, and then he walks away, and I went, "God,
I want to kill that dude.
But he was
But
right.
he's
though.
right. I know he was always right.
Yeah, he was. He knew how to bring the best out of people, especially musicians.
Yes, he did. And he was such a great guy and a great player. He was so theory based. I mean, he literally knew stuff that could blow your mind on the guitar.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's spin The Optimist by Avant Garde Dog.
I'm in.
Hang on. There it is.
There we go.
It's Avant Garde Dog on Jyneration Nation. LRS102.com. The Walrus!
You're listening to LRS 102.com, broadcasting live from the
Feelings turn and fall just like leaves to the ground to be swept away. Slow Is there ever enough between friends? And I'm sad for you, and I'm mad at me, and I'm torn in two with a life that sucks. The show is done, the curtains are on, the rock has crumbled. I'm standing on what hope I had was left for dead, seared by the sword of what you said. I can tell you the truth, but the truth isn't good for all the drama. Yeah, I can tell you the truth, but it's never enough for all your drama. You're giving me there's nothing left for me to hold. Your disposition is freezing cold. My history doomed to repeat. I try to love but can't conceive. I can tell you the truth, but the truth isn't good for all the drama. Yeah, I can give you the truth, but it's never enough for all the drama. I can tell you the truth, but the truth isn't good for all the drama. Yeah, I just give you the truth, but it's never enough for all your drama. Well, I can tell you the truth, but the truth isn't good for all the drama. Yeah, I just give you the truth, and it's never enough for all your drama. It's all about the drama. Nothing's ever good enough. Ever good enough. It's all about the drama. Never good enough. Nothing's ever
It's drama. It's all about the drama. Gosh, I was just thinking it was very dramatic, that song.
A little bit.
He's a great songwriter.
He
It gave me a
is.
little bit of cold chills, and then I also was thinking about, I know like 20 people that song could fit to.
Oh yeah.
Or could go out to. Yeah, all about the drama, man. You know, as musicians, I do feel like we have to be we have to have a little flair of drama and
Oh, absolutely.
theatrics around us. You know,
Absolutely,
we
for
are
sure.
artists. You know,
That is
and
very true.
emotional.
That is
'Cause
very, very true.
we're trying to channel emotion when we play, and it doesn't matter what style you play. You're still trying to emote some sort of emotion. You know,
Yes.
so we can be a little dramatic.
We're a little dramatic.
Yeah. How is it for you to listen back to this stuff that you did so many years ago with, you know, hearing Kevin and being like, dude, you know, he's gone now. So it's tough for me, I know, when I listen to Bev's stuff.
It's awesomely weird.
Yeah.
It's the weird part is I don't really. This is gonna sound funny, but I don't really hang out listening to myself.
Right, of course not. Yeah,
I just
mean,
move on, and I mean, yes, I go back and listen to stuff. Oh man, I need to listen to this. I haven't listened to this
Yeah.
in however long.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Obviously, when I get the final production of anything I've ever recorded, I listen to it and go, "Sweet, that's good," or "We need to fix this," or whatever. And then I move on, and it's not an arrogance thing or a pride
Right.
thing. It's just, all right, cool, that was awesome. Next.
yeah, exactly. You're like me. I like to keep projects rolling.
Yeah, keep
And,
everything
You know,
rolling.
we're always looking forward,
Yeah.
and then what we put out comes back later
Right.
on.
Yeah. And so when I go back and I hear something, especially something with Kevin, who's no longer with us, it's weird for me to listen to stuff that I've done, but it's awesome because I go, you know what? That guy is immortalized forever.
Yes, in
He
music.
will always be with me whenever I need him. I have the record.
Yeah.
And I have some other stuff that he recorded too, that he never released, but that's the part that makes it awesome for me.
Yeah, same
make
with
sense?
me. Yes, absolutely makes sense because I was left with half of Beverly McClellan's last 6 years of her recordings.
Right.
Not only our project together, but I also recorded her solo stuff, a lot of it. And
Oh,
I haven't even
right.
put it out yet. It's been really hard because she just passed on Halloween, basically. So
Right.
I was like, man, I had to take a little time to heal. I didn't want to sit there crying, listening to, you know, her sing.
Right.
But again, I also want to put it out for her because I'm like, she's immortalized forever in music. And that's what I keep telling my students and my, you know, bandmates and stuff like that throughout the years. I want to keep working on solo stuff because when I die, the only thing I have left as a legacy is what I have put out.
Right.
And if it's not out, you know, where I've worked really hard on a project that never came to fruition where you can actually physically hear it,
Right.
then, you know, what's the point? Keep moving on. I want to record more stuff. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
That's what we do. Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree completely with that.
Yeah, and you've always kind of been in the creative music scene. Like, I haven't seen you do a ton of covers over the years. I mean, I know you've done cover band stuff, but it seems like you excel in the creative.
Thank you for the compliment. I think that I do. That's my wheelhouse, but it's a double-edged sword for me because I think at my age where I am, and I'm not saying I'm old or young or anything, but at my age and where I am in life, that stuff is amazing and it's awesome and I love it.
Yeah.
But LG&E wants their money.
Well, of course, yeah.
So it's do
That
I
9 to
have
5,
yeah,
right.
do I have time to dump a bunch of money into a project? Do I not have time?
Yeah.
Can I make the time? Is it
Right.
worthwhile? And a lot of people go, well, you just do things for the money. And some of my friends will call me out and go, well, you absolutely do. Well, yeah, after 31 years of playing drums and lugging them around, yeah, you're going to pay me.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
Same
damn
here.
right you are.
Same here. Yeah, and you know, I have this funny thing that I say to any band who I don't want to play with. I won't ever say no to somebody, but I'm $2 million a gig. I'm like, if they ever ask me, I'm $2 million a gig
Right, absolutely.
because I want to get paid too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's
And again, lugging that stuff around.
Oh, God
I mean,
damn.
people don't understand until they've done it. You know, I'm a female who's been lugging my stuff around, 300 pounds of equipment
Yeah.
to and from gigs, and they don't understand. We have to set it up before the show, and then we have to tear it down after the show.
Right.
And that also includes loading it into the car, unloading it,
Yep.
setting it up, playing it for 3 or 4 hours, sweaty, energy levels pumping. At the end of the night, you got to tear it down. I mean, we can hire people to do this too, but tear it down,
Right.
put it back in the car, take it home, unload it again. You know what I mean? There's
Right.
a lot that goes into it.
There is, and I definitely don't complain about any of it, but I always tell people that's the part I get paid for. I don't get paid to play.
Right.
I get paid for everything else.
To set up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's the hard part. The playing part's the easy part. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I do.
But at the same time, I find it amusing and interesting, and almost, depending on the situation, sometimes hypocritical that people are like, well, I can't believe you would do this to get paid. Hey, your dentist you went to, who went to dental school for 5 years, you're paying him, right?
Exactly.
He paid his dues or her dues, whatever. They put in the time, they put in the effort, they're getting paid. It's if you are fortunate enough to do something you love to do, and it's not
Exactly.
really work, but at the same time, 30 years, you're paying me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm the same way. I just literally, and I'm almost to the point where I've been working on my sobriety a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really want to play a lot of bar venues and be around a bunch of drunks all the time anymore.
Fair
I
enough.
want to do more events, festivals, stuff like that. Theater, because theater does pay pretty good, especially if you can get on the equity theater stuff.
Right.
They're on the union musician pay scale or whatever, and just bigger things. Because when I felt like and some of us have made tons of money doing that, and that's the crazy thing about the music industry. If you get on with a crazy artist like a Beyonce, I mean, you're getting paid bank. They're just dumping money in there per week, and then you're at their beck and call to do whatever they want.
Pretty much.
But when I was with Bev, I mean, she was making great money and splitting it with me because there was only 2 of us, and then I went on to do that. And then when you come back and you play a bar for 3 hours and make $100 or $150, it just don't feel like it's worth it,
Right. I get that. It depends on how you put it in your own personal perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, I will never, ever, ever stop playing. I can't.
Well, correct. I feel like I won't either.
No,
as long as I
can't.
can physically.
Yeah, I just can't. And Stacy and I have a deal that when I can't play, you can go ahead and pull me off light support to charge your phone. I'm fine with that. I got no problem with that.
I'm the same way.
Do your thing.
By the way, and I don't know if you knew this guy named Dave Hassenfeld. He was a great bass player around town. He just passed like 2 nights ago. And I had just been over there, and I went over there, and a couple times I jammed with him because he literally had been going downhill for a while. And
Right.
he was like, he studied Jocko, in the Weather Report, and he was just amazing bass player.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you would have loved him. And he had these crazy stories.
How do I not know him?
I don't know. I
That's
don't know.
weird.
It's so funny to me because when I was doing the She Castle thing, all these women musicians, I mean, some of them had played with each other, but hardly any of them knew each other because they came from different backgrounds here. Some of them were in the cover band scenes,
Right.
which don't cross over into meeting the original music people
No,
either.
they don't.
So those two worlds rarely collide.
Oh, they do. Well,
And-
and I'll say it because I'm the only one that seems to have the balls to say it. You can ding the bell.
Sure. Wait, where's my bell?
Where'd your bell go?
You can ring my bell. Ring my bell.
I've lived in a lot of cities, and Louisville's one of the most clickiest when it comes to their musicians.
It's pretty clicky, yeah.
It's ridiculously
And by the way,
clicky.
we can both talk about this because we're neither one from here.
Nope.
Yep. And when I got here, I also said the same thing. I
Oh,
felt
yeah.
like I was an outsider.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, "Did you go to YPAS? Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
go to all these performing arts schools?" And I'm like,
Did you
"No."
go to Trinity or St. X?
I went to
neither.
Right. And I was like, I went to Dare County High School, and they'd look at me real confused, like, "Where's that?" First off, I'd say I went to college. And then I'd say the college, and they'd say no, high school, and I was like, why do you want to know where I went to
Yeah.
high school? Like, it was
Yeah.
so strange when I got
Yeah.
here. Yeah, but
That's weird.
the Louisville music scene can be a little clicky.
Absolutely.
I just got away from some of that clicky,
Right.
because it can also be clicky in the women's music scene around
Oh,
here.
I'm sure. Wait, should we call that clicky or catty?
Caddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I will say I am playing with some of the best female musicians on Sunday. I mean, from Kimmett's on that list, Troubadours of Divine Bliss, Robbie Bartlett.
Nice.
A chick named Tiffany Lynn Puckett, who David Williams drums for. She's our country music star.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and we have the daughter of Phil Phillips, who is a big blues singer around town, and she hasn't sang before without her dad, who just passed. So
Aye, gotcha.
yeah, Sherry Edwards is on there, who Marvin plays with. Marvin Maxwell.
very
She's
cool.
been singing around town, and
Marvin,
for
never heard of that
60
guy.
I know, me either. Shit the bed. Oh no, I said it again. Sorry, Mom.
Have you seen my da-da-da?
No kidding. We love Marvin, man.
It's my
That's how
favorite
we
thing.
met.
That
we
is.
met both working for Marvin
Yep.
Maxwell.
Every time I walk in the door, and first thing out of his mouth, hey, have you seen my da-da-da?
My dad today. He does love to say
Yeah,
that.
because he's always talking about my tattoos. Have you seen my da-da-da?
My dad today.
I
By
got
the
it.
way, I
Damn
will
it.
say when I first met you, you had just gotten like one of your
I
first
had
tattoos.
one.
And now you are covered, and it looks awesome. I love the artwork.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I have a good artist. Shout out to Travis King at Prophecy Inc.
Yeah.
I do. I have a Travis King at Prophecy Inc.
Prophecy Inc. You'll have to hook me up with that dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can.
Because I want a whole Hillbilly Swagger half sleeve over here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can hook it up. He's
Yeah.
really good at pulling out what's in your head. What your vision is, he can get it out of you.
Cool.
That's one of his. I mean, he has many strong suits, but that's one of the reasons why I love him so much. Because what I had, especially on my right arm, what I had originally wanted, he went, dude, that's not gonna work. Okay, can you help me? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, if they're a pro, listen to them. I mean, you know.
Well, there's a difference between being a pro and listening to him and a tattoo artist
A
that wants
vision-
to give you
visionary.
what they want,
Yeah.
and a tattoo artist that wants to give you what you want.
Right, I agree with that.
And
yeah,
Travis wants to give you what you want.
Right, that's good.
It's going to be his work. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
It's on your skin.
Exactly.
So
I want to remind everybody, by
Yes.
the way, that you're listening to LRS102.com, The Walrus. We are broadcasting live from the Launch Louisville studios, and we're Louisville's rock stream.
This is pretty cool, by the way.
It is pretty cool, Rock, right? And we're
thank
going to
you
be
again for having
broadcasting
me.
live. You're very welcome. We're going to be, we try to give away tickets to Bourbon and Beyond, Louder Than Life. We're having an
Nice.
LRS Fest. You would love the bands on LRS Fest.
Easy
I-
for you to say.
Well, you may not, but I know your kind of style, and I have seen some of the bands that are playing, and I was pretty impressed by most of them. They're more heavier
Ooh,
stuff.
can you tell, or you have to keep it secret?
Oh no, we've got the whole lineup here. If I can find it.
Oh,
Let's
do
see here.
tell.
There's a ton of bands on there. First off, I love this. The Atherton band is going to be there. That's the band from the Atherton High School.
Oh,
and they've
nice.
also got like a School of Rock band that's going to be there.
Very cool.
But we've got Julius, The Last Origin, Mojo Thunder, Boombox Poets, SWP, who I loved.
Freeze. Have you heard of Mojo Thunder yet?
No, but I mean, I've heard the name, but I did not get to see them when they auditioned.
They're from here.
Are they?
They're good.
Yeah. I
Shout
bet.
out to the. I don't know those guys personally. I've only had one message with one of the guitar players. They're a good band.
Cool.
They're
Well,
really good.
I've seen most of the bands that are going to play, and they're all really heavy and really good.
Nice.
Smut is going to play.
It's a great name.
Isn't it? Smut.
I love that.
I just love saying it. Smut.
Smut.
And evidently the SWP is we'd have to put a lot of money in that change jar, but he won't tell me what it stands for, but I can kind of imagine.
SWP. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. You right.
Probably something I
didn't bring that much
enjoy.
cash.
I hear you. Anemic Royalty, which is Skinny J, who runs the station. That's his
nice.
kids' band.
Very cool.
Yeah, and they're heavy. Despite the Fallen, Afterlife, Hyro the Hero. I love that name too.
That's a cool name.
Royal Bliss and Non-Point.
Non-point, as in the non-point.
Yeah.
They've been around for a minute.
Yeah,
I saw
they actually are the main headliner, like at 10:30 to 11:40 p.m. that
Oh,
night.
very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So
I saw
the
those
whole
guys a couple
lineup-
times.
That's going to be at the Brown Foreman Amphitheater, and LRS is known to have LRS Fest, and it's going to be in October, first week
very
in
cool.
October. Yeah, so it's going to be a cool event, and of course, also I've said this a million times, but they're going to be broadcasting live at She Castle. That's the
Yo.
event I'm producing for a women's charity event on Sunday. They're going to be out there from 4 to 6, so you can register for free LRS tickets and stuff like that. So we got all
Very
kinds
cool.
of really cool stuff going on. And at the top of the hour, which is any time now, Miss Lenny Prince is going to be calling in. She's one of our She Castle queens. Also,
very cool.
Also an author. She's a bass player. She's just a real cool rockin' chick.
Author, I need to talk to her.
Yeah, you do. I can hook you up. She's awesome. Tell us a little bit about this track we're about to spin, Going Down.
Yeah, Going Down. That was the first single from Heaven Hill.
Ba-bum.
Ba-dum.
I just like the title.
Yeah. Well,
Wait, I didn't say it, but I'm going to ding it anyway.
go ahead and ding it twice
All
more
right,
because
all right.
it's about exactly
Go.
what you think it's
Oh,
about.
okay, well, even better. Let's spin this. All right. Title track from the Heaven Hill record, and this is you on drums.
Yes, it is.
Wow! You're listening to LRS.
girlie, I'm digging through. I got this feeling I'm going
Yeah, that was Going Down by Heaven Hill. That's Stephen O'Reilly on drums there, man. Badass drum track, I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're
Thank you.
very welcome. I always loved you in that band because, I mean, you were in the LRS102.com, Generation Nation Studios, and I am joined by Stephen O'Reilly, drummer extraordinaire.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
How you
Now,
doing?
listen, I want to talk about your current stuff going on because we haven't even
Okay.
hit that yet.
Nope.
Yeah, and you just got selected. Okay, first off, not only do you have a podcast that is awesome, where
Aw,
did you
thanks.
come up with the Bar Star idea? Because I love that idea.
Okay, actually, it's kind of interesting. I wrote a book.
Okay.
It is not published yet. I'm working on it.
Now, you're talking about like a book about your life or like a drum book?
I wrote a memoir.
Okay, a memoir. I love that.
Yeah, I did. And the reason I decided to write it was not. It's not. This is going to sound really dumb, but you guys are going to get what I mean. It's not about me, but it's about me.
Okay.
It's about my musical journey and how it parallels
Is it all
anybody else
truthful?
that's famous. Yeah.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah,
all
yeah,
true
yeah,
stories.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I left a lot of the personal, like my personal life out of it.
Mhm.
It's just about my musical journey and how it parallels, quote unquote, famous people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just as good as them.
Mm-hmm.
As
I
them,
agree. Dude,
but-
you are a pro. I
Oh,
mean,
thank you.
You're solid.
But the world doesn't know I exist.
Ah.
So a few years ago, I was playing in some cover bands and stuff, and I don't remember where I was, but I remember specifically sitting around a table, and we were all just kind of shooting the garbage, and I looked at somebody and I said, "Yeah, I said garbage. You put that bell down."
I didn't touch the bell. I was grabbing my phone.
You grabbed the bell. I saw it, and I said something to the effect of having to go to work or whatever, and I said, "Well, I'm at work. I mean, that's what I do. I play in bars. I'm a freaking bar star."
I love that.
So I kept it. So I ended up entitling the book "Bar Star: No Fame, No Fortune, No 401k."
Ah, I love that.
That's the
no
name of my
fame,
book.
no fortune, no 401k.
Yeah, that's the name of the book.
I love that, man. Do you know what the name of my book is?
What?
I've been working on a book for a minute, but I want to do an autobiography, and I am going to put my personal life in there because I want to drop it all. I'm gonna give it all to him. Be like, this is exactly what happened when you were wondering why that project just dropped off the face of the earth.
Don't get me wrong. There's some dirt in my book.
Right.
It's not
I like the
filtered.
dirt.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not filtered, but I didn't want to get too personal.
No, I get it.
Anyway,
I get
what's
it.
the title of your book?
Tales from the Sticks. Because I'm from the sticks, the woods of Kentucky.
Oh,
But
nice.
also, I've got a solo record that I want to drop with it called Herstory. So instead of history, it's Herstory. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
like
go
that.
ahead. Go ahead.
I like that.
I thought it was clever.
I liked it. You're kind of a clever, witty little chick there.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome, man.
That's some hillbilly swagger for you. I will never live that down. I've got to keep it rolling as long as I live, just because.
Well, as you should.
Go ahead.
So anyway, I wrote the book, and I'm still trying to get it published. I'm on my 8th round of edits. It's not going anywhere, meaning I'm not by not going anywhere, I mean I'm not stopping it.
Right.
I'm just at that point where, okay, this round of submissions didn't work. Let me try again.
Right.
Let me fix some stuff. And now I have to fix the ending of the book, which we will talk about in a second.
Yeah.
But that's where I got
Well,
the
because
idea.
your book hasn't ended yet.
Apparently not.
Your life. I mean, here's my fear of putting out a book, because I've been thinking about doing this for a long time. I've been writing it for a very long time.
Right.
I'm afraid that if I put it out now, something better will happen after, And I guess you could do a part two.
You could do a part 2.
It was like when that book came out, the Women Drummers book.
Yeah.
That came out before I really had toured and done all this cool stuff. So I I'm writing my bio and it looked okay. But now when I read it, I was like, well, I didn't even get to put in there that I toured with this one or did the
Yep.
project with, the Hillbilly Swagger Project or
Right.
all this cool stuff that I did. Everything happened after the book came out, basically.
Well, you can do it again.
Yeah, you're right. You
Should
can
always
write
do
a
it
part
again.
two.
You can
or
write a
whatever,
part 2.
yeah.
You can write an addendum.
You can do anything you want in art.
Yes,
That's
you
the best
can.
part. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
You're like, I didn't like her. We're going to kill her off. In fact, that's one of my favorite songs growing up was called I Used to Love Her, But I Had to Kill Her by Guns N' Roses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they literally killed their girlfriend and buried her in their yard. And it's in a song, and it's in a fun, cheesy song that you want to sing along to.
Yep.
That's the joy of art.
Absolutely.
You can do stuff in art that you cannot do in normal life and get away with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I decided to start the podcast as a companion to the book, which was a cool idea, but at the same time it was kind of a dumb idea because
Why is
the book wasn't. It's not
Oh,
published
it's
yet.
not right.
Yeah, it's not published.
Oh,
So, but I have been a fan of podcasts for years.
Yeah.
Because I get song soup. Actually, at this point in my life, I don't have song soup anymore. I have song restaurant chain.
yeah. I love that.
It's bad.
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
bad up there. So I got into podcasts, and then I went, well, I like this one on some days, and this one days I don't like this one.
Yeah.
Screw it, I'm going to do my own. And that's
Good.
how it happened. And I
Awesome.
went, all right, what am I going to name it? Duh. The Bar Star Podcast.
Yeah, I
Why
love
not?
that. Yeah.
So that's where it came from.
Yeah. And I mean, any musician, if they've really been around the block, they've played bars for years.
Oh,
you know.
absolutely.
I mean, I was playing them when I was very young. I wasn't even allowed to really be in them, but they didn't question it because you're with the band.
Right.
Yeah,
I've been there, done that. I did that in the Carolinas. I did the same thing. Yeah.
I meant to tell you I have family all around the Carolinas. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Spartanburg. I used to date a girl who had family in Columbia, graduated from Charleston, College of Charleston, vacation to
I lived
Polly's
in Columbia
Island.
twice.
Yeah. I call it the armpit.
Pit of the South.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know why it's called the armpit of the South?
Why is
I'm going
that?
to quiz you real fast.
No, I don't. Educate me.
Because Columbia sits in a bowl. The way that the land is,
Mm-hmm.
it sits down in a bowl. So the humidity will get stupid.
Yeah,
It
well-
gets well over 100. You can't breathe when you walk outside.
Yeah.
Because it sits down in a valley. Air can't get in there.
Wow,
That's
I
why
didn't know that.
That's why they call it the armpit of the South.
Interesting.
You ever been to Columbia in the summer?
Who? Probably a few times.
Farfignugan that.
Yeah. And I didn't have to ring the bell.
No, you didn't.
Farfignugan. I love that. Or Far From Pukin. You
Far
ever
From
seen that?
Pukin,
Remember
yeah.
those old T-shirts? That's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
where I got that from.
Yeah.
With the little stick figures.
Yeah, Far
and they're
From
always
Pukin.
they're always doing something interesting. Yeah. I don't even
Always,
know where
always
that-
grooving, I think was one of
Yeah,
them.
always grooving. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And it was like a dancing stick figure or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do I even know that stuff? I don't know. It's just in my memory bank somewhere way back there from back in the
Because
day.
everybody had one and you saw it all the time.
Probably.
It
You're
became
probably right.
oh, actually, I can't use that anymore. Damn it.
Oh, is damn even a cuss word?
I don't think so. Just ring
If
the
it
bell
is,
anyway.
we're ringing the bell anyway. I just like to ring the bell.
I think
want,
you do too.
You know what I want? I want one of those squeaky horns like a clown carries. That's really what I want. Squeak, squeak. You know, and they're like, ah.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
bring some kind of percussion item like a vibra slap or a slide whistle or something crazy. I need some sound effects, man. I need a drum roll. I need hand claps. All that fun
We
stuff.
just going to have to build you a library.
I know. That's the plan. That's the plan. So tell me, who are you on tour with now? Because you just got picked up for this awesome tour, right?
Yeah, it's
Or
actually
you're going out and back in.
No,
or
no, no.
something?
I've already gone and came back.
Okay,
it's,
cool.
It's actually a really cool story. We got time? It's going to take
Yeah,
like
we
an
got-
hour and a half. No, I'm just kidding.
We got
there's-
time. Just
there's
make it
a
short.
there's an artist named Delana who she was on Rockstar Supernova a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, at this point, it's been about 13, 14 years. Which Rockstar In Excess was the first one, and then Rockstar Supernova was the second one. And basically, it was the precursor to all the music reality shows now, contest shows or whatever. In Excess and Supernova were the first one. Well, Supernova was with Tommy Lee, Gilby Clark, and Jason Newsted.
I
They were-
remember that.
Yeah,
I
they were-
remember Tommy Lee on
Yeah.
some show.
Yeah. They were trying to put together a super group, and they brought in like 20 singers or whatever it was, and yada, yada, yada. So I had been a fan of that show, and I discovered a lot of musicians and singers off of that show. Delana being one, Lucas Rossi, the guy that won the show, a girl named Storm Large. All these great artists and musicians.
Yeah.
So I've been a fan of Delana's forever since that show came out, and I bought all her records, the whole 9 yards. Well, this past January, past January in 2019, and I say that because somebody actually asked me if I was talking about 18. Nope, the one in 2019.
I still have a hard time believing that we're in 2019. I have a hard time even writing it. And sometimes I'm like, we're 2018, 2017. I was like, wait, is it 19? It's so hard. I'm like, why is it so hard? Because we saw the 2000s turn in, you know, and I now feel old because I totally get what the elderly people in my life have been telling me the whole time.
I used to joke about the curmudgeon-y old man, and now I'm becoming a curmudgeon-y old man.
Right, I hear you.
So it is what
You've
it
got
is.
the best word vocabulary.
Aw,
Curmudgeon-y, Farfignugan.
I got Farfignugan from you.
Dropped, well, true, but you dropped another one earlier. I forget what it was. It started with a W, but I can't remember now. But you had a good one.
Let me pick all these words up that are falling out of my face.
Yeah, you know they say if you want to sound educated, you learn a better, bigger vocabulary and start using
Learn all the words.
the big ones.
To my band right now that I'm in, all the words, kids, all the words.
That's right.
So anyway, this past January, I went to NAMM, which is the National Association of Music Merchants. I know you know what it is, but some of your listeners may not. They have 2 shows a year. In fact, one is going on right now in Nashville. This is the summer one.
Nashville summer one, right?
Yeah, which I am not there. Dang it! I wish I was.
Neither am I.
And then the Anaheim show is the big one. Everybody that goes there goes to the Anaheim show. So I've been wanting to go forever. So 2019, this past January, is the first time I've actually got to go. So this is a true story. This is how this happened. Literally, it's awesome. I'm walking out from outside inside. The Hilton has one of the biggest parties because it's on the ground where the convention center is. I'm walking to the bathroom. That's where I'm going. I look over to my left and I see Delana, and I went, holy crap, that's Delana, like right there.
The chick you'd seen on TV.
Chick I'd seen on TV and have all her records, a whole 9 yards. So I just kind of looked over and I went, have you played yet? Because she was supposed to play that day. And she said, yeah, I did. And I said, oh, crap. Okay, have a nice day. And I went to walk away and she goes, no. And we just started talking for, I don't know, 5-6 minutes.
It was meant to be then.
Yeah, and I said, can I totally fangirled out. Will not lie. I can't even say fanboy because I fangirled. It was hard.
You fangirl. What's the difference? I'm just curious.
My voice went up a few octaves. It's like, hi.
You're trying to fix your hair. Steven's bald.
Fixing my face.
Yeah, fix your face.
And I just, hey, can I get a selfie? And I don't do that very often. And not granted, I mean, I took some while I was at NAMM, but it was after talking to some people for a few minutes. This one was within like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, absolutely. So I took the picture and I posted it, and I didn't think anything about it. Fast forward about a month after NAMM was over, she messages me on Instagram.
Cool.
And she says, hey, where did you say you lived? Kentucky. And I said, yeah, I live in Kentucky. She said, well, I'm trying to put together a Midwestern tour, and I've been stalking you, and your videos look great, and I think you would be perfect. And I said, do what? I thought it was a joke. Yeah, I thought it was a joke. I went, this is not Delana.
Yeah.
No.
Bev also, by the way, thought it was a joke. Her band submitted a video to The Voice. She didn't know anything about it. And they were like, we're choosing you to fly you to L.A. And she was like, I don't get on planes. And she thought it was a joke.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it was like pulling teeth to get her on a plane, but she got on and went. But anyway, go back because
and she killed it. Yeah,
killed it.
So anyway, I said, yeah, we started talking, and she said, well, I think you'd be perfect. Are you interested? I went, well, hell yeah, I'm interested. You're Delana, duh.
I know,
of course
and
I am.
I'm a drummer. I want to play.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And so she had been watching some of my videos on Instagram, and she kept saying something about it being fate. Didn't dawn on me. 4 days before she met me, she played with a band. She did a fill-in spot at a private party in Anaheim, and the guitar player and the bass player live in Hazard, Kentucky.
What?
Yeah, a guy named Steve Sizemore on bass and Ben Noble on guitar. Yeah.
That's very Deliverance.
Yeah, they live in Hazard.
Hazard, man, represent.
Right, and then so she did this fill-in gig with a guest spot, as she called it. She had to do like 4 or 5 songs. She got to play with that band, and she fell in musical love with Steve. They hit it off immediately, and then Ben was just as awesome. So she stayed in touch and said, hey, we should do this again. And Steve was like, yeah, we should. And then, of course, Steve being like me, He got a message before I did, and he went, "No, this isn't you."
This is a joke.
So she put all of us together, and we all live in Kentucky, and she lives in Holland.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amsterdam, that's where my peeps come from.
Yeah.
With the wooden shoes and the
Yeah.
bicycles
Oh,
and
yeah.
the, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
what are those called? Windmills?
Yeah.
Right. And all the good weed I hear.
I don't know anything about that,
Wait.
but yeah, sure.
Is that even a dirty word? I don't think anybody gives a shit about weed. Oh.
Oh.
I'll put more money in
Yeah, okay, fine.
there. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Steve and I, she put us all in touch, and we're freaking out. We're going, Delana wants us to go on tour with. What? How does this even happen?
Yeah.
Well, Steve had been a fan of her. Ben's younger than us, so he doesn't really remember anything. So she put us all together, and we start chatting in this group, and one thing led to another, and it happened.
Yeah.
With the three of us, without her, obviously, we rehearsed 3 or 4 times. Then she came here. I went and picked her up from the airport. We had one rehearsal on a Wednesday. Thursday morning, we left for Wisconsin.
Isn't that how life and music
Yeah,
works, man?
It is,
You're
man.
like,
And we did 6 shows in 10 days.
cool. All through Wisconsin?
No. We did Wisconsin, 2 shows in Wisconsin.
What parts of Wisconsin? Because I played up there and I loved Wisconsin.
We did Green Bay and Hazel Green.
Hazel Green.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got to do like Milwaukee and Madison, which is the big college
Drove through Madison.
Yeah.
Because we ended up having to go through Madison and then Iowa and then Illinois and we
yeah.
stayed in Kalamazoo, Michigan, which made me happy.
Oh, Kalamazoo, Michigan's one of my best gigs ever. There's a famous picture of me and Freakbass, and Freakbass literally is jumping in the air, and he got literally like 6 foot off the ground, and
Nice.
he's playing his bass. Yeah, I loved Kalamazoo. I got to play right downtown there.
I got to sleep there.
Cool. I'm surprised you know, because half the time I'd be sleeping, I wouldn't even know what city I was in.
Right. So, but we stayed there because then we went to Canada.
Yeah.
So we played 2 shows in Canada.
You gotta love. And by the way, that UP area, did you go through that to get to Canada, or did you go through Wisconsin to get to?
No.
Canada?
We went through Michigan.
Michigan. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I was gonna say that up. They call it the UP, the Upper Peninsula
Yeah,
area.
yeah. I
of
think that's where we
Michigan
went
and all
through.
that.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty. We were freaking out in customs, not because we had anything on us.
Right.
It was just, oh my God,
I know.
I don't want to unload this damn van.
Listen,
I
dude.
don't want to do it.
When I was touring with Kelly Ritchie, we played all through Canada, like 4 or 5 different provinces. So we had to cross the border multiple times. And we crossed it in North Dakota, and then they wouldn't let us cross it one night. We had to drive all the way to Montana and cross it there. Like, customs is very tough, and they
Right.
want to see all your money.
Right.
And you can't come back without. You can't make over like $10,000 without filling out some kind of special
Shh.
form.
Don't give anything else
Yeah,
away.
no, I won't. But you know what? You know what the troubadours of Divine Bliss taught me.
What?
And you can't do this because you're not a female. You could put a wig on and do it though.
Not the last time I checked, I wasn't.
You know how to get through customs pretty easy. Put tampons in your windshield when you drive up to customs. They'll wave you right on through. They don't want to check you shit for some reason. Oh gosh, my mouth is filthy today. What is wrong with me?
I put money in the jar. I'm gonna take my money back. I'm doing well.
You're doing way better than I am.
Yeah, I
And
am.
which is strange because usually you cuss way more than me.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yeah.
My mouth is atrocious.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I'm
I'm
always
from New York. The F word is a comma. Leave me alone.
I know it is. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, and where I'm from, it's just. I mean, it's just a thing. I've always had the mouth of a sailor, unless
Right.
when I'm supposed to put on my goody good, I usually do. But
You said
it's
goody good.
It's rock and roll. When I'm supposed to be bougie and all that for the cameras and your corporate events, things like that.
You said goody good and bougie.
Bougie,
I
I
love
know.
your face.
Oh, I wrote the song "Bougie" about an ex. It's a diss track.
Oh, yeah.
And I dressed up in a wedding dress. I did. I don't know if you've seen that, but I'm gonna send it to you.
No,
If you
you
haven't.
need to send it to me.
Well, here's the thing, and I'll make it super quick, and we'll get back to Delana.
No,
But
you're fine.
for my 40th birthday, which was last year,
Mm-hmm.
I decided what can I do in my solo career that would make mouths drop. And one of my friends said, I think you should go femme in the video. And I thought, I never go femme. Usually I throw my hair up in a ponytail and I'm femme, but not as femme as most feminine females.
Right.
So therefore, a lot of people have never seen me in a dress. They've never seen me in a bathing suit. They've never seen me with wearing my hair down and makeup all pretty and nails on and all
Right.
that. Well, the song was literally a diss track to my ex who kept telling me she wasn't bougie when she was. She'd get like drinky and then get in that loop.
Oh,
And you know this because
yeah.
you don't drink.
Right.
And I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like she would get in this like loop. And so when she started dating a 21-year-old cheating on me, then I decided, what can I do to get it?
You go, girlfriend.
I thought, what else can you do? But that's what artists do. We write it out in our music.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wrote this diss track to her, and the song is all about a female pretending like she's not bougie when she is. So I played the rapper in the beginning because it's like a hip hop track.
Right.
And then when it goes to the bougie, I went femme in a wedding dress, hair, makeup, whole nine. I'm in a skirt, a mini skirt with the boots showing skin.
Get out of town.
No, it's in the video. And I thought, I'm going to give the world the straight femme married Jen, which is what they've always wanted, a lot of them at least.
Yeah, that's really wrong. Don't ever do that again.
Which is everything I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But it definitely,
yes, I do.
It got a lot of hits on YouTube, and it definitely made some jaws drop. And Sean Wallace was in here, and he was like, "Dude, I didn't even realize that was you until you just told me that story." And I was like, it is. I play all the characters. I did put a drag queen in there, a Derby City sister, because the girl I was dating at the time had, fake nails, fake lashes, fake lips, fake boobs, fake eyes, fake hair. It was literally everything was fake. So I thought, what greater to put in my video than a Derby City sister, man, a drag queen who likes to put it all on like that. You know what I mean? And he was a beautiful dude. And you just can't say that he's not gorgeous when you see him all dolled up. So it's just me and him in this video. It's hilarious.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I have to go check that out.
Oh,
I didn't know you did that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. When you see me in a miniskirt, it's black sequins too with red velvet boots. So you're going to be like, whoa.
I'm going to have to sit down before I watch that. I can't watch that standing
Even
up. I'll
the
fall
people
over.
filming, who are my friends who have known me for 20 plus years, they were laughing behind the scenes was so funny because they could not take me seriously. And I'm trying to pretend, and I can't walk in heels. I've never worn heels before. I'm trying to walk in heels and look like a lady, and that's just something I've never been really. So it was way outside my box.
That's pretty funny.
It was. So back to Delana, and we're going to spin a track, right, from her stuff?
Yeah. So we did a couple shows in Canada, and then we came back down and ended in Richmond, Indiana. So it was 10 days, 6 states, 2 countries, if you want to get really technical and cool. But it was an amazing experience because the money didn't matter. None of it mattered. An artist that I've been a fan of wanted me to play drums for them. And we ended up doing...
Which is awesome.
Yeah, we did like a 60-40 maybe. 60% her originals, 40% covers. Well, actually, we did 2 of Steve's originals because he has a band called the Steve Sizemore Group.
Cool.
Great band, too. They do some really cool stuff. So we did a couple of his tunes and mostly her songs and then some covers that her and Steve picked out together. And it was just awesome. It was one of the...
Magic?
It was magic, but more than that for me personally, I'm sitting behind my rig every night and I'm watching this woman that I used to watch on TV, and I bought all her records, and all that aside, I've never ever, out of all the musicians I've ever played with, never been behind a singer that has that much power.
That's like me and Bev, man.
Blew me away.
Yeah, she would sing right in my face, and I get cold chills telling this story. She'd be like, "Wow," and doing her big vocal run.
Yeah.
And she said, "Have you ever had anybody do that before?" And I was like, "No." And she said, "Christina would do it to me." She would walk in to Bev, and Christina would do her big power vocal right in her face.
Right.
And Bev would do it back, and it would blow Christina's mind. So Bev, she had so much projection.
Yeah,
man. So
that's the
I
way
totally
Delana
get
is,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, you want a singer who can just put it out there. you know?
Yeah. I mean, when she has her mic at arm's length and you can still hear, holy shit, ring the bell, I don't care.
They're singing straight from their diaphragm. Sherry Edwards is the same way. She just has this big vocal that's just projection.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I love that. So let's spin this track because we're going to have to wrap it up. We're
You're good.
getting to the bottom of the hour, and I just want to remind everybody that we have been talking to Stephen O'Reilly, drummer extraordinaire, and we're going to play some of his stuff to take us home. You are locked on to LRS102.com, The Walrus, broadcasting live from the Launch Louisville studio. We are Louisville's Rock Stream.
Very cool.
I want to remind you, Sunday you can check me out, man. Check me out and 14 amazing singers and a badass band. I'm gonna say it anyway. Ding, ding, ding. Called That's What She Said at Air Devils Inn. Doors open at 2. Additional parking across the street at Bowman Field. The Ushi Sushi. I think that's how you say it. Wishi Sushi. I don't know. We don't know. Either way, you can park at their place.
I know where it is.
Right. Yeah. It's on Taylorsville Road.
Yeah.
The event's all day. $10 at the door. It all goes to charity. charity. It's for a great event. Drink lots of water. Come get out of the heat, man. It's going to be so freaking hot this weekend.
Yeah, it is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave you with a track from this tour that you did.
No. This is actually her original record.
Oh, this is her original record. So
Yeah.
you're actually not on this?
No, this is actually
okay.
Adrian Young playing drums.
Oh, Adrian Young. Well,
Yeah.
educate the people who Adrian Young is.
Adrian Young is the drummer for No Doubt, and
Yeah.
he's a phenomenal drummer.
Yeah, he has
and-
some of the coolest fills. They're simple, but
Yep.
I love them.
Oh,
And,
yeah,
and
yeah.
his No Doubt work, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, long story short, he did this. He did all the drums on her record called Inside Out. So you need to go to her website, which is DelanaRocks.com. Buy the record. Great record.
Mm-hmm.
It's the record that I fell in love with musically, and I'm going to play a track called Somebody Else.
Okay, and before we finish it up, remind everybody if they want to get in touch with you, if they want to check out your podcast, if they want to, do anything, look up buy your DVD, buy any of your records, where do they go?
I'm easy to find. Everything is almost always tagged with O'Reilly Drums. Like on Facebook, it's O'Reilly Drums. At Instagram, it's at O'Reilly Drums. Twitter is at O'Reilly Drums, but don't waste time on Twitter because it's a time suck and I don't have time for it. Twitter
I
annoys
actually
me.
love my Twitter, but I started on Twitter first, so that's
Yeah.
probably why.
Right, and
Yeah.
I'm late to the Twitter game. and
Everybody says that if you don't understand it, you really don't understand it. But the people who do
Right.
really love it.
No, I understand it.
Yeah.
But to get any return off of it, it takes a lot of time.
It does.
And I don't have
Yeah.
that much time.
Social media is a time investment.
It
yeah.
is. But
and I
I'm-
know we
I'm-
all hate to do it, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like if you're in the scene and want to stay valid,
You
you
have to.
kind of have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So so pretty much, and also another thing, spell your last name because I always had trouble with that when I was looking you up.
It is O''REILLY.
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly.
And Stephen is with a V.
Yes.
Not
'cause
a PH.
spells Stephen.
All right, well, Steven, thank you for coming in.
Dude,
You're one of the
thank you for having
greatest
me.
drummers
Oh,
around here,
stop.
man.
Thank you. I
don't,
appreciate it.
yeah, I'm being serious. I've learned a lot of stuff from you over
Oh,
the
thank
years,
you. I appreciate
and I'm
it.
honored to have you in on Generation Nation LRS 102.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. I'm gonna leave you with Somebody Else by Delana, and as always, y'all, stay groovy. I'll see you on Monday.